How many WASA workers does it take to fix a leak? Will the authority ever get its sewage together? Will the government get it in gear and actually tame the beast that is WASA? Well, do you go to a rum shop for counseling on how to quit boozing? Hey Gil, it's Paulo Kernahan here with you for another slap across your face called Wha Yuh Go Do. So, how many WASA workers does it take to fix a leak anyway? Well, that's a trick question. WASA isn't in the business of fixing leaks or anything like that. The authority has been in the news recently, naturally not for good reasons. The Minister of Public Utilities was flexing findings of a subcommittee investigation that coughed up some not shocking at all revelations. Look, troubles with WASA are as trini as doubles, carnival and public servants who think members of the public are a nuisance. In my teens and early 20s, regrettably, I used to lime a lot, always out on the town. In my community, if you didn't catch a fresh before 6 p.m., you were out of luck. You would be going in the dance with a skunk on a tight leash. You see, at exactly 6 p.m., the taps would start hissing like a feral cat. Those problems never went away. It was because of WASA, Trinis invented the term taking a cowboy. That's when you have to bathe with the dribble coming from the tap. The most you could do is splash your grill and sap under your armpits and pray the Old Spice or Anais Anais by Cacharel would do the rest. Truth is, many people have it far worse. Other communities are born into no pipe-borne water at all. Bucket and standpipe brigade. Trinidad and Tobago has more freshwater sources than most Caribbean islands. Still, getting water to homes is Mars landing level complicated. When the water isn't coming in a trickle or not at all, WASA is pumping Milo directly into your house. For all the billions poured into WASA, how much of that money was lost to theft, waste and mismanagement? The same waste is mirrored on streets across the country. Nearly half the water produced by WASA is lost to leaks. Yet, while all the masses, the partly unwashed masses, endure this tortured existence, inside the citadel of WASA, the authority reflects an entirely different reality. Remember when a WASA CEO was collecting a salary of nearly $1 million a year? People thought that was crazy back then. Well, not that much has changed today. The acting CEO, who was recently invited to the announcement of his own demotion, was earning, according to reports, roughly $600,000 a year. That's without perks. What we weren't told is how much the chairman who is replacing him will be earning for his service. Just imagine executives at WASA are still earning bonuses, but the authority can't pay its bills. The thing is, we focus on the massive salaries and sprawling workforce because that's what we're expected to do. We reserve most of our venom for management and WASA workers because it's easier to assume the problem originates with lazy workers more interested in a steady paycheck than doing their bloody jobs. PSA President Watson Duke believes he has the answer to WASA's problems. Just pump more money into the authority. Of course, Watson Duke would say that this is a man who dresses like a fake banker and drives around in a BMW. Duke, however, is merely an outflow, a product of the same problem that has saddled us with an authority drowning in debt and failing to deliver. It is failure by design. Let's drill down to the real source of WASA's dysfunction. The Public Utilities Minister, Marvin Gonzalez, believes he has. He seems like a no-nonsense kind of guy, not afraid of, well, taking the bull by the horns. Funny thing is, his predecessor, Robert Lehand, seemed like much the type of character that he is, except he ended up taking the bull. Anyway, Gonzalez came to the public with tales of runaway inefficiencies and wanton waste. This is a crime all governments were guilty of, yet to see the PNM speaking about corruption at WASA is like watching a serial killer returning to the scene of a crime and just blending in among onlookers and gasping in horror. The Public Utilities Minister may be well-meaning, but he's already off to a bad start. He removes the acting CEO and replaces him with the chairman, a political appointee who will now be both chairman and CEO. This is like treating a gunshot victim with more bullet. The problem here, people, is politics. It has always been. WASA is the way it is because of constant political interference and manipulation. The authority is used as a tool to guarantee votes and reward party supporters, jobs to keep the loyalists on side, projects and contracts to keep financiers and backroom figures fat and supple. Public utilities are like partisan brothels, so it's now hard to accept that politics will slay a monster genetically engineered by politics. These people, who are themselves monsters we the voters create, in turn create and feed this larger monster. When it becomes too big, threatening to swallow us all, politicians stand back and curse their own creation. Six-figure bonuses for executives. They didn't draft their own contracts. They aren't submitting invoices at gunpoint. If workers can clock in each day and not work for a single minute without consequences, they would be stupid to do any work at all. So how do our governments deal with the cancers they caused? Well, who remembers the Matrix films? Remember the part of the trilogy where Neo met the architect and discovered that there were several matrices? Well, each time an anomaly would threaten to destroy the harmony of the illusion, the matrix would be destroyed and rebuilt. You remember that? Well, that's sort of the same thing we do here. TTT, TIDCO, BWE, Carony, T&Tech. We built each designed-to-fail matrix with political coding. Eventually, the inherent flaws become huge, growing beyond our control. So, the government steps in and rebrands, renames, or shuts down and reopens these state agencies, and then continues with the same political coding, leading us inexorably to where we are today. The problem is politics. The bloated management and workforce and terrible service are merely symptoms. So the leak in front of your house that outlasted your marriage, the sketchy water supply, the Wasser Trench refilled with mud and rocks because different crews deal with paving, the billions that continue to be flushed away, that will go on. And don't be surprised if they ask you to pay more in your bills for their failures. What you gonna do?